Rush Limbaugh's wit and wisdom has blessed the lives of many Americans. You can hear some of it here on the James Hendricks Show. Hey guys, we are taking a break from the news to talk about really two subjects, two fields of study. And I really do believe that that one covers the other. Public affairs covers political communication. Now, I was going to look on Audiopedia for the definition of public affairs. I already got one on political communications that's there, but I got to thinking about it. I was getting frustrated trying to find the definition of public affairs, which I firmly believe Audiopedia was right, but I want something inside me. It's like, why are you dependent on an external media to speak your heart about what you really think it is? You're right, because I think it's a major that could be created within some college of media and communications. It's an arm of public relations. You'll take public relations courses, but you'll also take, combination courses in business, political science, and communication. So, I guess we'll start with public affairs. What is public affairs? This is the definition I have over here at the James Hendricks Center for Conservative Federal Studies. Public affairs is a field of communication in which businesses communicate with its shareholder theory. So many colleges and universities have been teaching what's known as stakeholders. And you know what? I've been frustrated long enough. The James Hendricks Show is not just a place to sit there and chit-chat and give-gab about, the news. Also think we could cover some important topics behind the news, more importantly, because really I've been sitting here thinking about it, and I thought, here I've been, sitting there getting down in the doldrums, angry, frustrated, pissed off. And then it occurred to me, this is your show. And so when I come back on Labor Day, I'll be honest with you, what I absolutely want to do, yes, you'll hear the news, but I think, and this is something my brother-in-law mentioned, he said, it's your show. You can talk about whatever you want. You don't have to always give what's the political news of the day. You can talk about fishing. You can talk about golf. And I can hear some of the audience, say, oh, you lost me already. Jimmy, you're supposed to stick to the issues. Well, people complain the same thing about Rush, but you know what? I think it's only fair. Now, without further ado, public affairs is a subfield of public relations. It's kind of like a mass media. It's a mixture of a lot of fields, actually. Mass media, economics, political science, communication studies, business, a lot like that. And it shows how people can communicate things to shareholders, clients, and then also public entities. So many people think, well, public affairs. That means public administration. No. Because public affairs is more business related. I'm a pro-business type of guy. And personally, I think some in woke America for, a little over a century, our reactive culture has hijacked what I believe is public affairs. It's so encompassing. Okay, and then you say, well, okay, then what is political communications? Political communications, it delves into the theory and practice of writing political things. It can be election year, okay. It can be taught to do things, regarding campaigns. But what if you're teaching on an off year? Here's what I think you're doing. You're analyzing political speeches, okay? You're analyzing what's going on in the media, but from a more proactive stance. And had I known that public relations, in a way, is a part of public affairs, I might have stayed. But me and a cuckoo brain listening to our friends like Brad and Jim Bob, But it has a lot with political science and business and everything. And political communications is really, it's an art. What you're doing, okay, obviously you're learning how to write press releases in some ways. I think fact sheets are part of that. So mass media writing is part of the basics, I think for the study of political communications within public affairs. See, I can talk about making news without making news reactive, which, sadly in many ways, is not what's going on in this culture. I think even Google has changed the synonyms for reactionary. They think, well, it's you conservative right-wing people who are. I'm going to be honest with you. As a person who is a public affairs consultant, it's going on in both parties. It's going on in both parties. I see what's going on. And I'm tired of the temper tantrums that are going on in Washington, D.C. and all this country. Now, yes, I have my political stance, but that's not what this particular episode is about. Political communications, okay? Let's say you're to design a degree in political communications. A bachelor's degree, okay? Within the umbrella of public affairs, within the umbrella of public relations. Okay, of course you get your basics over the 2 years and everything. You have an introduction to public affairs, introduction to public relations course. Those are obvious. Mass media writing. I think a good recommended minor for political communications major would be management. Management would be a good minor. Another one might be, general business. But, say you're getting into your sophomore, junior year. You've taken intro mass communications, all that stuff. You're into the mass comm theory. You're into intro public relations, intro public affairs. Multicultural subject studies, which I think Old and New Testament literature counts as multicultural. Okay, that's just my view. And then, after that, of course, your sophomore, junior year, a course in and of itself, doesn't require the macro, 1-2 course thing. It's just one course. Economics or public affairs. With emphasis on the macro, of course. Now, what goes on then is, but by the spring of your junior year, you're taking more serious courses, okay? Intro to Public Affairs, Organization Theory, what's the other one? Management course. Your managerial communications, your mass media writing, and I think part of public affairs, you should take business law. Okay? That's all wrapped up in pretty little bowl. And now your fall year of your senior year, you're taking communications law, your political communications, your political analysis, which is in political science, the research methods and even the statistics. Them pesky statistics, And of course, one of the courses that leads to capstone, which will be, leading up to your academic paper course, would be persuasive writing, persuasive communications. And of course, when it comes to public affairs, this is where your political science courses come, your intro political science courses come in. This is where your intro public affairs course comes in. Your news writing, public speaking that you've completed, say during your freshman years, sophomore year. And to some degree, rhetoric. So, you have the fall of your senior year, political communications, mass communications law, persuasive communications, and political science. Now, the fall of your senior year, this is where it gets fun. This is where I as an advisor, would kind of take things together. You would take a constitutional law, limitations, civil liberties. And of course, your academic paper course. And then you would take advocacy campaigns. And you would also take, advocacy, what I call it is, let's just call it advocacy campaigns. And in your advocacy campaigns, it depends on some things like skills you learn from rhetoric class, which I think rhetoric should be something that's taught, say, your freshman, sophomore year. And then also your persuasive writing. And of course, a little bit from political communications. And your advocacy campaigns, you're learning how to launch a campaign from the ground up, It deals with the issues, the ethics. But the thing I love about this particular field is you're not going into the reactive. You're not betraying principle. And I'll be honest with you, there's times when I would much rather talk about topics like these than all the crappy stuff that's going back, on the news. Now, tomorrow, I know. Tomorrow I'll have to go back to the news. I know I will. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not looking forward to it. The good news is, Thursday, I can kind of ease out of it. And then Friday is Fearless Faith Friday. And then, really and truthfully, I'm going to be taking a 2-week break. But what I'll do is I'll ease you into it. There'll be no broadcast the 22nd. Okay, Tuesday the 23rd, there's going to be White House ruling. And then maybe the 24th, if I can come up with a topic that's non-reactive. Because during this time, I'm staying away from the news. I'm reinventing this show to where it's something I can enjoy and people can enjoy. Now with that, I hope you enjoy listening to the James Hidden Show. If you like what you hear, please subscribe and become a part of receiving most daily updates with inspiration and understanding. It's Jimi Hendrix saying, until next time, saying take care and be proactively informed, not necessarily just the news. And until next time, guys, take care. God bless. I know the news and the world's going crazy, but I promise you, I'm going to try to bring more proactive stuff. Take care, you guys. God bless.